I love vacations. Some can completely change your perspective on the world and give you a new meaning to life. The Eiffel Tower, isn't she beautiful? Almost as beautiful as you.
But some vacations can be the opposite and end up being so bad that they take that meaning of life and shove it so deeply up your that you beg God to end your suffering in life as you know it! But in this video, we're gonna see both ends of that spectrum in order to find out what is the world's best and worst vacations, how do they compare, and most importantly, is it possible to have fun in both? A lot of questions, but let's start at that first one.
What is the world's best vacation? In a world where there are so many different options to choose from, it can't be possible to find the absolute best one. I mean, out of all of these, there can't be one that's obviously the best.
Hallo, ich bin in Deutschland. I'll explain this in a second, I swear. Because to start our vacation off, we're taking the world's best river cruise. Come on, I'll give you a tour. This is the front of the ship, the back of the ship, the deck, the lounge, the bar, coffee station, the library, shuffleboard, live music, the garden, my room, my bathroom.
The putting green.
Restaurant number 1. Deck. Elevator. Stairs. Restaurant number 2.
With all you can eat food and all the alcohol my degenerate can get drunk off of. And somehow we can do all of that while looking at the most important thing, the view. But the truth is, I don't give a about any of that. Okay, yes, it is nice to travel in luxury.
When I open this closet, this light automatically turns on. This is literally the coolest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
But at the same time, some of the best vacations and memories I've ever experienced were made in a Motel 6 or a $20 campground because that's all me and my friends could afford. The best vacation isn't about how much money you spend or a closet light that turns on and off that I'm weirdly fascinated by. The best vacation in the world should be different for every person and revolve around whatever it is in your life that's the most important thing to you. And that's why this vacation is going to be the best vacation in the world for me. Because the most important thing in my life, by far, is...
Can you get the f out of my shot? It's classical music!
I just had this crazy dream where you said classical music was the most important thing in your life. Isn't that funny?
No, because it is. And today, we're seeing my favorite person of all time,
Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. What? Baby, you're number 2. Top 5 for sure. Okay, we're not actually seeing Mozart. He's been dead for a couple of years now, but we are going to his hometown. And I know some of you might be like,
what is wrong with you? Why is a man who's been dead for 233 years your favorite person? Are you kidding me right now?
well, what if I told you that Mozart is actually the closest thing to God we've ever seen?
Really?
Okay, maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself.
Yeah, you are. You want to explain yourself? You can't just listen to Mozart's entire thing.
Salzburg, we're here! Okay, let's start at the basics. Whether you know it or not, you know Mozart, because he made this song, and this, 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 and this.
Stop! I'm sorry, you're probably overwhelmed. I mean, nobody knows this many Mozart songs. You probably don't even know this one, but I mean, this song is still pretty good, right? I mean, if you really listen, you can hear true beauty mixed with a bit of longing and coupled with complexity.
He was 8 years old when he wrote it.
When I was 8, I couldn't multiply. I would my bed every night, and one time I the bed. Not the bed, the bed. Speaking of which, this is where Mozart was born, and his house. So, let's see the bed that I would have shat in if I was Mozart.
I could dedicate my entire life to making music and never make anything this good, but not this little f***. He wrote this at 8, performed for the king at 7, wrote his first song at 5, his first concerto at 11, and his first full-fledged opera at 12. Oh, while I was pissing and shitting myself in my bed. Imagine going to 2nd grade show and tell and some little freak plays this. Don't you see? This is what I was saying!
Closest thing to God we've ever seen.
This kind of talent can't be earned. It can only be given by God himself. The only explanation was that this little freak was touched by God. And this is the hair of that little freak. The hair of a man. A beautiful, drop-dead, gorgeous man that was touched by God!
Gay for Mozart?
Huh? Was I saying all that aloud?
Beautiful, drop-dead, gorgeous man.
I prefer the term bisexual.
I think I need to chill the f*** out. And I am, okay? I'm sorry for being this amped up for a man who's been dead for 200 plus years. But I promise you, no more freaking out, no more talking to myself, and no more... Oh my god, is that his f***ing piano? I'm gonna tell you why I'm doing this challenge in the first place. Totally what I was gonna say. Truth is, I've always been scared to do a vacation this good because I've never had a bad vacation. Even when I've had malaria in a third world country where I was completely broke and could only afford a Motel 6 or a $20 campground, I still had some of the best moments of my life. And that ability to have fun regardless of other circumstances is a quality that I hold very near and dear to myself. And that's why I've been afraid to do a vacation like this. Because if I start to compare being in a Motel 6 to the things that I'm gonna do on this vacation, then I may lose the ability to have all these moments. But doing the worst vacation in the world right after this will be the ultimate test to see if I can still find joy despite being... and not lose sight of the things that really matter. And let's be honest, I feel like I've kind of already started to lose track of that. And so it was going to be good for me and my relationship to get out of my favorite dead person's home and be able to spend a nice, relaxing day with my favorite alive person. Oh my god, is he alive? No, it's just a cardboard cutout. That's next to a Mozart candy store that sells Mozart chocolate, next to another Mozart chocolate place that sells Mozart candy, next to another candy store that sells liquor of Mozart's sister? Am I in heaven? Is it possible that this city likes Mozart as much as I do? Well, they do have
Mozart Candy Store 1. Mozart Church. Mozart Candy Store 2.
Mozart's wife's grave.
Mozart Candy Store 3.
Mozart's father's grave.
Mozart Candy Store 4. Mozart statue.
Mozart puppet show? We have to do this.
I'm terrified of puppets.
Mozart College.
Really big Mozart chair.
Mozart Cafe.
Mozart Square, Mozart Bridge, Museum 1,
Mozart Museum 2.
Mozart Museum 3, Mozart Baptism
Mozart
Tub,
Statue 2.
Mozart Bridge,
Mozart's apartment.
Mozart Violin,
Mozart Piano.
Mozart
Mozart
I think I'm gonna move here.
I don't get it.
What? What do you get?
I get that he was a musical prodigy or whatever, but like, what's the big deal? Why does he make you practically... Never mind that. To me, classical music is just relaxing.
No, it is not relaxing. It is the furthest thing from relaxing. Is this relaxing?
When I think of classical music, I think of...
Sure, it can be relaxing, but
Close your eyes. Really listen. What does it feel like?
calm.
Yes, but it also feels
Free, weightless, like clouds floating way up in the air.
I can kind of see that.
Now, every song tells a story. Can you see the story of this song?
No.
But that's kind of the point. This song is almost too free and weightless to even tell a story. Sure, you could say it's pretty or calm, but where are we in this beauty and calmness? What's the story? But then, in that confusion, comes a piano, floating above everything else in the song, above the beauty, the calmness, and even the weightlessness itself. And that piano is us. Whatever problems or worries you had before this are now insignificant because we're floating miles above them. It seems impossible, but somehow we're floating above weightlessness.
And that's why all this exists and why it makes me practically, because when you listen to Mozart, even if it's for 7 minutes, you get to fly.
You're such a weird person.
At its bare bones, it's relaxing, but come on. When you think about opera, what do you think?
Rich, snobby people?
True, but what about opera itself?
I don't know. Classy, elegant?
Wrong. See, everyone thinks that way, but it isn't. This opera right here, Don Giovanni, is about a boy that had thousands of girls. In fact, he so many girls that he goes from the afterlife, comes down, and sentences Don Giovanni to spend eternity in hell and repent for his sins. Was it worth it? Depends on what these girls were looking like back in his day.
Hey.
But at the same time, it's about Mozart. Mozart wasn't this classy or elegant guy like you think. He wrote a song called Lick My Ass. He would throw parties, drink, and get his ass ate every night. And no one hated this more than his father. His father believed Mozart's talent came directly from God, and so anytime he wasn't using that talent, he was forsaking God. Playing with other children at 5, forsaking God. Enjoying nature, forsaking God.
Going to parties, forsaking God. Getting married, forsaking God. Drinking, forsaking God.
Pool, forsaking God.
Eating, forsaking God.
Joking, forsaking God. Breathing, forsaking God. Forsaking God!
Okay, do you get the point?
Yeah.
Mozart just wanted his father to be proud, and so he became the greatest composer to ever live. But that wasn't good enough for his father. And that guilt haunted Mozart even after his father's death.
His whole life his father compared him to God, and so no matter what he did, it wasn't good enough for his father. And that guilt of never being good enough infested his soul. No matter what he did, his father would only see him as a fuckboy that liked getting his ass ate and a disappointment to God. And after years and years of this, that guilt infested his soul and made Mozart himself believe he was never good enough.
And that's what this opera is about. Mozart is the fuckboy Don Giovanni, and his father is the ghost from the afterlife sentencing his own son to eternal hell. And it's perfect, and the music is delivered directly from God, and I wish there was a way to see that today. I'm at a 3-course dinner concert in the world's oldest restaurant where Mozart used to eat, and every course is themed to a different opera. I am in heaven.
Course 1, Opera 1. Course 2, Opera 2. Course 3, Opera 3! Listening to my favorite Mozart operas in Mozart's hometown in a place where Mozart will perform his own music. I cannot possibly see how my life could be any better. You want me to conduct a song written by God in the same spot where God may have conducted that song? I think that was the best day of my entire life. I don't give a f*** about these memories anymore. Who needs those when you have these? Wait, I don't mean that, right? No, I'm not losing my ability to have fun regardless of circumstances. I'm still gonna be able to have fun in the worst vacation. God, I hope tomorrow isn't somehow even better than today.
Good morning! Who would have thought that the world's best vacation would start off with this little f***? Probably not you, but definitely me. Am I worried that this vacation is going to be so good that I compare every day to it and as a result probably kill myself in the world's worst vacation? Yes, I'm actually very concerned. But I feel like the only way that would happen would be if there was like a day as good as yesterday, and I kind of feel like that's impossible. I mean, the only thing that could possibly be better than Salzburg would be if there was like a Disneyland for classical music. But I mean, that does not exist. I mean, where even are we today?
Vienna!
See?
Vienna is known for possibly being the most beautiful and romantic city in the entire world. I mean, from its stunning architecture to its gorgeous—
I don't care. This place is literally Disneyland for classical music. Disneyland has 49 rides. This city has over 100 museums dedicated to just classical music. Why? Well, you know this song? One of the best songs ever written. It's just a theme song for the river here. I mean, what's next? Does a tree have a theme song?
It literally does.
The roses have a theme song. Trains have a theme song.
Bonbons have a theme
The
song.
blood of the people have a theme song. Statues have a theme song. Women have a theme song. Lightning has a theme song.
Treasure has a theme
The
song.
lagoon here has a theme song. Fireworks have a kissing has a theme song.
have a
The
theme song.
electromagnetic artists have a theme song.
Everything has a theme song! It's the city of music. But with so much to do, where the f*** do I even start? I mean, do I go to the museum of the man who made this, or the house of the guy who wrote that? But what about the composer who did this, or the one who did that, or this, or that, or this, or that? I mean, is it even possible to see all of this?
Yes, it is, because all of those songs were written by one man. And he's my second favorite person of all time. Okay, relax. I didn't mean it. Okay, I'm sorry. I meant it, and his name is and this was his home. Baby, I promise you, there is no one else that I like more than you. But I mean, look at him. He's gorgeous. Can you blame me?
Yeah, I can't. Look at me. Am I not gorgeous?
No, you are, baby.
What do I have to do? Look like Beethoven or Mozart?
It would help. No, don't say Mozart.
You're a guy. You look at me the way you look at Mozart.
No, not Mozart.
Mozart.
No. I told you. And that right there is the most famous melody of all time. And the story behind it is the most depressing story you will ever hear.
No! Look at the gardens! Aren't they so nice? We don't need another story about classical music. Can't we just enjoy a nice day in one of the most romantic cities in the world?
But you make me feel that I am on something true, something real.
You're not gonna stop thinking about Beethoven, are you?
No. But the story does have one of the best love stories of all time, so it is romantic.
You're the only person whose best vacation is talking about dead old men. Let's get the story over with.
I love you so much. What emotions did that sound like to you?
Anger, fear, darkness.
Does it sound like Mozart?
Wait, where are we?
My room.
No, it doesn't sound like Mozart.
Which is fascinating because Mozart was Beethoven's childhood hero.
Oh great, you can have a threesome with them.
Because his father wanted Beethoven to be Mozart, and obviously when his son couldn't write a symphony at the age of 8, he would beat, abuse, and lock Beethoven in their basement.
How can I hear you right now?
They don't allow talking at the Beethoven Museum.
Beethoven believed if he could just have an ounce of the talent that Mozart had,
Maybe his father would love him. And he told this to the only person that loved him and someone he described as his best friend. His mom.
Aw, that's actually wholesome.
She was a sickly woman who didn't have much money due to Beethoven's father spending all the money on alcohol, but she loved her son and saw that he wasn't living a great life, and so she saved up all the money she had and sent Beethoven on his best vacation in the world, a trip to Mozart's new home in Vienna, so that little Beethoven could meet and study under his idol. He was going to meet the man his father wished he was, and if he could just get an ounce of that talent, maybe he could get his father to love him. And so when he got to Vienna, he was excited, ecstatic, and was told Mozart did not want to see him and that he should go home.
he had traveled all the way to Vienna only to be rejected by his idol. When he finally returned home to cry to his best friend, he learned that his mother was dead.
But in that moment, he made a promise to his mother that one day he would become an even better composer than the man his father wished he was, and the man that made him miss the death of the only person that loved him.
Why are you doing this to me? This is so sad.
Yeah, I know. And there's so much sadness that we can't even cover it all in this video, and so we have to fast forward it a bit.
How are you gonna do that?
Here.
What's happening?
Let's fast forward it a bit. Past 6 more years of agonizing abuse from his father, past him finally leaving the abuse to move to Vienna to make his promise come true, past Mozart's death. Oh, there's a lot about me crying about Mozart's death. Past his early music career, and let's go here. Okay, look into the camera right here, but all he cared about was his promise, and that promise was starting to come true, because when he performed his second symphony here, the people loved his music. But unfortunately, nobody loved him. Yeah, Beethoven wished someone did that to him, because like you, despite trying his luck with every single woman he came across, no woman wanted him. He was the most famous musician on earth, but he was, quote, so ugly that no amount of success could mask it.
He's not that ugly to me.
Believe me, you don't gotta tell me twice.
But then he did what any man does when no woman loves him. He became gay for a very small man named Napoleon Bonaparte.
Like the Napoleon? Wait, was he actually gay?
No, it was just a man crush. Believe me, I'm an expert in those.
But it was a big man crush, because he even decided to dedicate his next symphony to him, because he was convinced that Napoleon would be the greatest leader the world has ever seen, and most importantly, be way better than his
ex-man crush. And that was a low bar, because I mean, what could possibly be worse than making you miss the death of your own mother? Napoleon became shortly after that and made Beethoven watch as he conquered the world and also conquered the city in which he called home and killed his fellow Viennese. And then Beethoven broke off his man crush and was all like, the world's first diss track and breakup song. Beethoven then...
Oh, I'm overwhelmed and depressed. You said this had one of the best love stories of all time.
It does.
And so far, all I felt is depression.
Well, okay, fine. We can fast forward it a bit.
Oh, wait.
past his next symphony, past him and a girl falling in love, past him becoming...
No! We're gonna go back to the love part, okay?
It took Beethoven 20 years, but he finally found one person that loved him since his mother. A girl named Julie. And it was about time, because he was a 30-year-old virgin.
But soon, for the first time in his life, he was happy. And on top of that, he was engaged. In Beat's own words, he said, "This change has been caused by a sweet, enchanting girl who I love and whom loves me back."
I wish you would talk to me like that.
And right before they were about to be married, Julie left him for a different composer.
You said this was a nice love story.
I know.
Please tell me it doesn't get any worse than this.
No, it doesn't get any worse than this.
Luckily though, his promise to his mother was finally looking like it could really come true, because fueled off of losing his lover, he was now more depressed than ever before, and that depression resulted in this. He gave up on women, he gave up on being loved. Now the only thing that mattered to him was his music and accomplishing the promise that he made to the only person that ever loved him.
And so he went to war with the man touched by God.
Song after song, concerto after sonata, the start of a full-fledged opera. Maybe Mozart could write faster, but he wasn't writing better. Because Mozart
He could only write with the light of God. Beethoven could write within the darkness of his own soul, a darkness God couldn't create.
But Beethoven lived, and that darkness now made him unquestionably
The greatest composer alive, and all he had to do was stay on that path, and his promise to his mother would be fulfilled.
Because right when Beethoven's promise was about to come true, God took away the most important thing in his life. His ability to hear. And so when you hear this melody, the most famous melody of all time, it isn't just some dark or depressing melody. It's much more sinister than that. It's the result of a child whose father never loved him. The result of a son who didn't get to say goodbye to his best friend. The result of a man that never found a wife. The result of a lifelong promise coming to an end because God took away the only thing that gave this man happiness. And through all of that, it's a question asked by a man with nothing left to live for. And that question is, do I kill myself?
And that's why I love classical music.
What the hell is wrong with you? You promised me a love story. This has no love in it. Are you stupid? What is your problem? It doesn't.
There is a love story, because in the same symphony, Beethoven writes an answer to his question, and his answer
Is bravery, heroism, the will to live, the love for life.
this is a man who experienced true love once in his entire life. In that one moment of true love, triumphed over a lifelong of depression and misery. In no other art form can you feel that but classical music. In classical music, you can feel true depression and heartbreak, but in that, you can understand the value of true love.
In classical music, you can mourn heartbreak, you can cry happily to nostalgia, you can feel heroicism, you can feel torture, anger, heaven, hell, love, lust, beauty, you can feel rain. Wait, what? Yeah, it rained so hard in Vienna that I needed to take my shirt off, and I was wearing white linen pants, and so anyone and everyone could just see my color. But that's not the important thing. The important thing is that we had tickets to a Mozart concert with the second best orchestra in the entire world, who were all going to be dressed like Mozart, but it was raining so hard that it was literally impossible to get to the concert hall. But this really is the best vacation in the world, because do you see this guy right here? Well, this guy is actually that guy, and I swear to you, I am not making this up, but that guy is a concert pianist who just finished playing each and every single one of Beethoven's sonatas. I am talking from his first sonata all the way to his 32nd, and we were trapped underneath a balcony in the middle of a f***ing monsoon for 2 hours. But in those 2 hours, all I did was talk Beethoven to this 55-year-old man. And you know what? Maybe I missed what could have been the best concert of my life. But talking to a person who literally plays Beethoven for a living and also getting a CD from him was also pretty cool. I made it. The best vacation in the world for me is talking about dead people who made music 300 years ago. Does that mean something is seriously wrong with me? Maybe. But I'm glad something's wrong with me, because this was the best day of my entire life. And if I was normal, I couldn't possibly be able to feel the amount of love in this moment. Wait a minute, I still wasn't done with this trip. Why are we closing out the video? I mean, I went to Krems and Budapest and Linz and Passau. But I mean, nothing was really cool enough to make it into my top memories. And to be honest, the whole time I was at those places, I just kept wishing I could go back to this memory or that memory and spend more time with Beethoven or Mozart. Wait! Am I not having fun in the world's best vacation? Did I just lose my favorite quality about myself? I am going to be f***ed in the world's worst vacation!
No, I'm not. But what is the world's worst vacation? Well, is it
Getting blindfolded, kidnapped, thrown into the back of a trunk that drops you off naked in a desert so many miles away from civilization that there is no hope for your survival?
No. I feel like this doesn't really classify as a vacation. Again, the worst vacation in the world should be specifically tailored to you and revolve around whatever it is in your life that you hate the most. And well, this would suck. And I'd probably die. The thing that I truly hate the most in life
Is uncertainty. Not knowing where I'm going, if I'll survive there, and how, or if I'll ever return home!
And unfortunately for me, I think I found the ultimate vacation for uncertainty.
Hi, could you, and any one of you, write down the worst city you could possibly think of?
By having a random stranger write down the worst city in the world, leaving everything besides my camera equipment behind, and being essentially homeless with no money, food, place to sleep, or a way back home from wherever this letter says!
Well, let's see where I'm going. Oh my God!
Subscribe so you don't miss part 2, or check out my Patreon where you can watch the full video as well as bonus content right now.